Hello and welcome to today's coffee lecture. My name is Lisa Kattner and I'm a subject librarian at the University Library Bern. Today I will talk about how to make your LLM smarter and make it fit for research assistance. LLMs such as ChatGPT and Claude answer questions either through their trained knowledge up to a certain date. For ChatGPT it's June 24 and for Claude it's September 25. Or through web search, where it can access more recent web pages. Your LLM ranks web pages and information, and it does so mainly by matching the wording of the web content and your questions. It also has a preset list of reliable websites, such as government pages or certain news pages. This web searching is certainly helpful with everyday and basic questions, but what about scientific questions? LLMs are trained on open access scientific publications and therefore know scientific concepts and methods, but they cannot easily trace back this knowledge to its original source. That's why hallucinations and made-up references can occur. There are other AI tools that are specifically designed to browse through the vast amount of scientific publications, connect the research through its citations and reference networks, extract contradicting and supporting claims to scientific findings. The big and commercial ones, Consensus and Cite, incorporate open access publications and to some extent licensed material from publishers. Since the beginning of this year, it is now possible to connect these tools, your LLM and your research tool, through a connection called MCP, which stands for Model Context Protocol, which allows the LLMs to access tools as if you would use these tools yourself. MCP was released by Anthropic in November 24, and it was released as open source so that OpenAI and Google also used it. It basically helps both LLMs and research tools to broaden their functionality and to gain new users. To connect tools to your LLM, you need to subscribe to the tools you want to connect. In the following example, I use Consensus with Claude. So now I am going to go to my Claude page. Okay, here's my Claude page, and I have answered a basic research-related question. And what Claude does in the beginning is it searches the web for according information. And you can see here it uses Wikipedia, certain web pages, certain governmental pages. And it lists all these references here. But if I want to answer a question by scientific publications, I have to connect it to one of these research tools. I do so by going down here to the plus sign, add files, connectors, and more. And I choose connectors, add connector, browse connectors. And you have a big collection of different connectors that you can use. If you know what you're looking for, you can type in the name here. Here I find Consensus. That's the one I want to include. So I use the plus sign. Okay. I've already signed into Consensus. That makes it a bit easier. Otherwise, I would have to sign in right now to the tool. And here I press connect. It's connecting now. Okay. And now for the same question I asked before, I want my Claude to use scientific publications. So I'm just redoing this question. It immediately accesses the Consensus tool. I allow it to enter, and then it searches Consensus for publications to answer my question. Okay, there it comes. There are different references that I can check. I have these links here, and if I click one of those links, I will leave Claude and go to Consensus, to the Consensus app, and there it shows me the publication. I can check for the PDF, and I can do more research on the reference. At this point, you can follow up on your question. You can use Consensus' specific ability to compare pro and contradicting conclusions in publications. You can use the functionality of your LLM to put together a summary of your research question, or make a presentation in some way. However, if you use this for research, you have to make sure you follow good research practices, which means you should really go to each single publication and read them for yourself. And another question you should ask yourself is, are the publications that my Claude used here to put together the information, are they licensed? Are they behind a paywall, or are they open access? So for open access material, it can read the full text, but for licensed material, it sometimes only just uses the abstract, and it might miss out on relevant information from the full text. So you can always ask your LLM which paper are open access, which are licensed, and what it has used to create the answer. So always be critical on the output and check it for mistakes or biases. Now I come back to my presentation and to my conclusion. So connecting your LLM via this MCP to research tools can increase its functionality, and I would totally recommend this if you are using your LLM anyway for your research and for summaries and writing and everything. And it gives you answers with the respective scientific sources that you can work with, but you have to know that its focus is on open access scientific literature still, and always make sure you don't lose information by ignoring licensed publications. So check out what your university access offers you from licensed publications. Never forget to follow good scientific practice, which means always check your resources, read the original publications, fill possible gaps by following references and citations to other publications. So make sure you're not missing out on information, and critically analyze and check the output for mistakes. With this, I want to thank everyone for listening. And if you're interested in our other coffee lectures and additional information about our research support, check out our website. And otherwise, thank you and goodbye.